Oh, hey. I'm wearing a tie. I'm wearing a tie in part just because I'm superstitiously playing with symbols. Because the fact of the matter is, as I've mentioned to some of you, nothing good has ever happened to me while I was wearing a tie. Me wearing a tie is like you calling a bail bondsman. What it means is that I've made a mistake somewhere in the past that has snowballed into a whole bunch of other bad things that result in me having to tie one of these things. So I'm thinking of this as coffee with Big Cat. I'm going to call the other one Coffee with Big Cat 1, and this will be 2. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to do a quick follow-up on the thing I said in my last video, which was I shared this realization that the people who really blew ahead of me were better than me. And a couple things on that. First of all, it seems like I was fairly clear about it. We can parse the word better. People had a more commercially viable product, had more product, had better product, were better positioned to reach a bigger audience. Any of these sorts of things. Better is, every word we use is just shorthand because we don't have a better word for it, right? Okay, so the thing I said, the people I'm talking about who blew ahead of me really fast, became really rich, really famous, they were better than me, parsing those words. And what I'm talking about, that group, within that group of people, what I said about them is unassailably and perfectly true. But just because something is true doesn't mean some other thing is not true, or that other things are also not true. So a couple of you reached out to me privately and said, yeah, that's all well and good, but you don't understand, man. The system is rigged, and I'm fucked. Well, let me address that. The system is rigged, and you are fucked. I didn't in any way mean to imply that what I was sharing in my last video was good news. The news is not good. The news is not good. Here's how I picture it. You know those lottery ball machines? It's like a bunch of ping pong balls spinning around, and they've all got numbers on them, and they randomly pull up and become the lottery numbers, right? I picture it like that, but the canister full of ping pong ball tubes is 12 million ping pong balls. And each of us are born into that pile somewhere in our natural home address. And some people are born right near the top of the tube. They're born, some people are born famous. Some people are born rich. All people are born with a certain amount of talent, with a certain amount of ambition, and with a certain amount of self-confidence. And that is also the fact. The system is definitely rigged for narcissists, people who have doubts and think too much and all that sort of stuff. We naturally fall lower in the ping pong ball pile because of that. So we're all in that ping pong ball pile somewhere. And at the top is this completely random machine which picks people and artistic projects at random. What can we do? What is within our power is to move around within that ping pong ball pile, right? We can do that by working really hard and being sane, reliable, and sober counts for a lot too. If you can be counted upon to show up and do what you're paid for, oh, that's huge. That's huge. In showbiz in particular. Holy cow. Now, within that gigantic mountain of ping pong balls, the fact of the matter is, almost none of us are going to get to the top of the pile and go through that tube up there, up to, and by the way, there's a couple levels of tubes up there too, right? There's people who are kind of in show business, make a decent living, but they're not Brad Pitt or whoever the top dogs are at this given moment. So trying to move up through that pile is actually the long way. What I think of on this pile is at the outer edges, there is just finding an audience. So there's lots of other ways to find your audience, to make a YouTube channel, to go to open mic nights, sure, why not, to play free gigs, to do whatever. You can get to an audience. And by the way, if you get to the outside of the pile and find an audience, it's a lot easier to move up the sides. Straight up is the long way. I think that's all I had to say about that at the moment. Sorry I forgot to be articulate. Maybe next time on Coffee with Big Cat. Focus on what you can control. Most of it you can't. I'll talk to you later.